Hi, I'm Nadia Nazir for tvsarawak.com. Headlining today's news, Tan Sri Dato' Amar Adnan Satem heads a list of 623 people conferred in state awards. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Adnan Satem heads a list of 623 people conferred in state awards in conjunction with the official birthday of the head of state, Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud today. The Chief Minister and former Bosnia-Herzegovina President, Dr. Haris Silajdzic, is conferred the state's second highest award, Datuk Patinggi Bintang Kenyalang DP, which carries the title Datuk Patinggi. Tan Sri Yao Tek Seng of Samling Group is the sole recipient of Datuk Amar Bintang Kenyalang DA Award, which carries the title Datuk Amar. Minister of Rural and Regional Development, Datuk Seri Shafi'i Abdal, Deputy Home Minister, Datuk Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, Brunei's Foreign and Commerce Minister too, Pehin Orangkaya, Datuk Paduka Awang Lim Jok Seng, and Jurutera Perunding Wahbah Sendirian Berhad Executive Chairman, Datuk Wahab Suhaili, are conferred the Panglima Negara Bintang Sarawak PNBS, which carries the title Datuk Sri. The Panglima Gemilang Bintang Kenyalang PGBK Award, which carries the title Datuk, is bestowed on Dayang Enterprise Holding Sendirian Executive Deputy Chairman Ling Suk Kyong. State Agriculture Department Director Lai Kui Fong, State Accountant Jumastafa Lamat, and Thomas Akin Jelimin of the state's Native Court get the Darjah Jasa Bakti Sarawak DJBS Award, which carries the title Datu. The 5 recipients for the Panglima Setia Bintang Sarawak PSBS Award, which carries the title Datuk, are Major General Datuk Pahlawan Abdul Nasir Ahmad, Datin Catherine Kelo Isa, Dr. Sim Sun Liang, Alice Jawan Empaling, and Vincent Yeo Siu Hee. There are 5 recipients of the Johan Bintang Sarawak JBS, 8 recipients of the Johan Bintang Kenyalang JBK, 3 recipients of the Pingat Perkhidmatan Cemerlang Emas PPC, 28 recipients of Pegawai Bintang Sarawak PBS, and 30 recipients of the Pegawai Bintang Kenyalang PBK. The TYT birthday celebration today was held in multitude of pomp and colours. It started off with the arrival of VVIP guest of honour Tun Taib and wife Topuan Ragat Kurdi Taib at the Padang Merdeka at 8 am. Receiving the arrival was Chief Minister Tan Sri Dato' Amar Adnan Satem and wife Puan Sri Dato' Jamila Anu, Minister of Tourism Dato' Amar Abang Johari Tun Openg, State Secretary Tan Sri Dato' Amar Muhammad Morshidi Abdul Ghani, Region 2 Commanding Officer Lieutenant General Dato' Muhammad Zaki Mohtar, and other dignitaries. The Governor was given the Royal Salute and inspected a Guard of Honour mounted by 103 officers and the men of the Royal Malay Regiment under the command of Major Sagiman Aziz. Taib inspected the contingents before Tan Sri Dato' Amar Adnan was invited to deliver his speech, followed by 3 shouts of Dirgahayu by the contingents. Tun Taib was presented with a special birthday cake to the accompaniment of the birthday song and the release of 78 pigeons. Born on May 21, 1936 into an aristocratic family in Miri, Tun Taib was 27 years old when he was sworn in as a state minister on July 22, 1963, making him the youngest man ever to such appointment in the political history of Sarawak. He has also served as federal minister in various ministries for 13 years and as the chief minister for 33 years. After obtaining the law degree from Adelaide University, Australia, he came back to Sarawak to serve as a public prosecutor. Sworn in as the 4th Chief Minister of Sarawak on March 26, 1981, Tun Taib continued to transform the development of Sarawak through the introduction of his politics of development, followed by the concept of change, opportunity, mobility, and equality. He then came up with the new reality and finally the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy. Other main events that go with the celebration will be an investiture and state banquet at the State Legislative Assembly DUN complex on the same day, as well as a tea party at the old DUN complex and the finale of the Yayasan Sarawak Gold Cup football competition at the State Stadium on September 14th.
Hadirin, sekarang ketibaan Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amar Haji Adnan Haji Satem, Ketua Menteri Sarawak, serta Yang Amat Bahagia Puan Sri Dato' Hajah Jamilah
mengumumkan ketibaan Tuan Yang Pertama, Yang Ketua Negeri Sarawak, Tun Perhenti Sri Haji Abdul Talib Mahmud, serta Yang Amat Berbahagia Tuan Puan Raja Kuditai.
The 13th International Conference on Urban Drainage ICUD 2014 has passed a total of 12 resolutions. The conference was held at the Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching, BCCK from Monday to yesterday. Organising Committee Co-Chairman Dr. Muhammad Rosli Zainal Abidin outlined the resolutions in his remarks during the closing of the conference yesterday. He said overall, there is a need for all relevant authorities to switch to the development of sustainable and effective water management in the city of the future. Muhammad said there are 3 simple steps to observe: reduce water use, all users, reuse water, water chain, and to help water ecosystems to cope. The following are the resolutions made during the 5-day conference attended by representatives from all over the world. Urban drainage systems should be reliable, resilient, and sustainable to ensure long-term performance within planetary and social limits by developing, evaluating, and implementing safe and sure socio-technical systems. Urban water management practices are solutions to mitigate the impact of urbanizations and climate change in urban areas. Developing an understanding of urban water management issues and best management practices either for developed and developing countries. Establishment of recent ideas, methods, models, technologies, economics, policies, and perceptions related to centralized and decentralized systems for managing urban drainage as part of an integrated approach to the water cycle which suits the local conditions. Developing resilient green infrastructure for the urban environment is important at both the micro and macro scales for our future cities, whether in developed or developing countries, sharing urban drainage databases between developed and developing countries, research and development to support the knowledge related to urban water management facilities, acceptance and compliance by stakeholders, institutional or legislation provision to achieve sustainable urban drainage systems, operation and maintenance as key factors for successful urban drainage systems, education and awareness related to urban drainage systems, and capturing the fundamental importance of water for both humans and environment, securing sustainable water for all. The General Operations Force raided a warehouse on the border town of Tebadu, leading to seizure of subsidized goods worth 120,000 ringgit and the arrest of a local trader during a joint operation with MDTCC on Thursday afternoon. In the raid, 13 personnel from the GOF and MDTCC descended on the target after intelligence gathered indicated that the warehouse was being used to hoard subsidized goods. GOF Battalion 11 Commanding Officer, Superintendent Sok Hok Seng, who confirmed the case, said the raiding team discovered a total of 753 sacks of sugar and 101 gas cylinders inside the warehouse. The team subsequently detained a 44-year-old local man who is the owner of the premises after he failed to provide any documentation for the goods. The sacks of sugar, weighing 50 kgs each, were clearly marked as subsidized goods, he said in a press statement yesterday. Initial investigation revealed the controlled items were being kept at the warehouse prior to being smuggled across the border and sold at a higher price. The case has been handed over to the MDTCC for further action. And now to the regional news. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak said he hopes Barisan Nasional candidate Mat Razi Mat Ali will be able to defend the Pangkalan Kubor seat for the BN in the upcoming by-election for the state constituency. In his Facebook, Datuk Najib said that he believes Ustaz Mat Razi is the BN's most sung candidate for the Pangkalan Kubor by-election. Hopefully he will defend the BN seat. Mat Razi 48, a Tumpat UMNO committee member and former Tumpat Assistant Education Officer, was announced as the BN candidate on Wednesday by Deputy Prime Minister and BN Deputy Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Muhyiddin said that BN chose Mat Razi, who is a member of the Tumpat UMNO committee, as he was a local who had much experience and had been of service to the constituents. The by-election has been necessitated by the death of three-term Assemblyman Datuk Nur Zahidi Omar of the BN on August 20th. In the last general election, he defeated PKR candidate Saharun Ibrahim and an independent candidate Izzat Bukhari Ismail Bukhari with a majority of 1,736 votes. Nomination is tomorrow and polling on September 25th. In Baku, Azerbaijan, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak said bilateral relations between Malaysia and Azerbaijan have moved a notch with the inking of the joint declaration on friendly relations and partnership. He said the endeavour would lead to many more economic and investment opportunities for both countries. Through the declaration, Petronas, for instance, would be able to play a significant role in the oil and gas-rich country in bolstering Malaysia's participation in the various economic spheres in Azerbaijan and Caucasus region. Petronas will be a major player in Azerbaijan and this region from its prior involvement in Turkmenistan to the synergetic or win-win moves initiated by the region, he told Malaysian reporters before his trip back to Kuala Lumpur after a two-day official visit to the country. Datuk Seri Najib signed the pact with Azerbaijan President Ilham Aliyev on Friday afternoon. Datuk Seri Najib and wife Datin Rosmah Mansor left for Malaysia at 10:45 p.m. the same day. It is the Prime Minister's first official to the country since Azerbaijan attained independence from the Soviet Union in October 1991. Datuk Seri Najib said the Azerbaijan president also noted the prospects of expansion and development in strategic fields from the enhanced bilateral ties. He particularly cited the oil and gas sector between Petronas and the State Oil Company of Azerbaijan. The Memorandum of Understanding between Petronas and SOCAR in the oil and gas sector will lead to more opportunities for enhanced cooperation between oil and gas companies of both countries. Earlier, Datuk Seri Najib officially declared open the Malaysian embassy in Baku. Malaysia set up its diplomatic mission in Baku in June 2007 but only established the embassy in April this year. The Prime Minister also met with Azerbaijan Prime Minister Artur Rasizade. SME Association of Kuala Lumpur President Megan SC Su hopes the government would give incentives for the small and medium enterprises (SMEs) to expand their businesses overseas. It should not be amounted to cash alone. Another part of it would be to help the SMEs understand which international market they should go to and give more assistance, she told reporters after the SME Recognition Award 2014 Kuala Lumpur Roadshow. Su said monetary support was definitely something the SMEs were looking for. But she would not encourage the government to give money only because they may not appreciate it. She suggested the government give the monetary support through incentives such as matching grants to the SMEs. She hopes the government would encourage more SMEs to expand their businesses overseas by riding on the strong domestic market, as SMEs were usually concerned about the higher expenditure. Meanwhile, SMI Association of Malaysia's Deputy President Michael Kang hoped the government would look into the rising costs of doing business by SMEs in Budget 2015. The costs are currently huge. He hopes the government would have more programs to assist the SMEs, especially upon the implementation of the Goods and Services Tax next year. In Vientiane yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin disclosed that Japan is planning to set up branch campuses of 3 renowned Japanese universities, including Tokyo Science University in Malaysia, in line with efforts to make Malaysia a regional education hub. Muhyiddin, who is also Education Minister, said this was conveyed to him during his meeting with Japan's Education Minister Shimokura Hakubun on the sidelines of the 8th ASEAN Education Ministers meeting on Friday. Speaking to Malaysian journalists, he said the Education Ministry would study the proposals from the universities concerned, which intended to use Japanese as the medium of instruction. He deemed it to be encouraging development after receiving a similar request to set up a Korean institute for high school to cater to the needs of South Koreans living in Malaysia. 5 related meetings were also held on the sidelines of the 2-day ASET 8, which ended today, namely the 3rd ASEAN Plus 3 Education Ministers meeting, the 9th ASEAN Senior Officials meeting on education, the 5th ASEAN 3 Senior Officials meeting on education, the 3rd East Asia Summit Senior Officials meeting on education, and the 2nd East Asia Summit Education Ministers meeting. Delegates from ASEAN, China, South Korea, Japan, Australia, India, New Zealand, Russia, and the United States participated in these meetings. Touching on his meeting with South Korea's Education Minister Hwang Woo-ye, Muhyiddin said he had already raised the subject of having teacher and student exchanges between Malaysia and South Korea. Muhyiddin also had a one-to-one meeting with Philippines Education Minister Armin Luistro, who thanked Malaysia for providing education to his nationals living in Sabah. On ASET 8, he said the members decided to increase cooperation to a higher level by having senior officials meetings annually instead of biannually. He said they also agreed to have closer cooperation to create new education opportunities, especially in vocational studies and Information Communication Technology. Muhyiddin also announced that Malaysia would host ASET 9 in 2016, with the dates to be determined later. And now to international news. Singapore announced yesterday that it has set up a humanitarian and disaster relief coordination center aimed at boosting disaster relief coordination with other militaries within the region. The Changi Regional Humanitarian and Disaster Relief Coordination Center is housed at the Changi Command and Control Center and operates round the clock to serve the Asia region. In the event of an approaching natural disaster, such as a typhoon, the center fuses information from regional disaster and early warning centers from distributing it to partner militaries through its web portal. If the affected country or region agrees, the center will concurrently conduct initial planning for a possible multinational military humanitarian and disaster relief operation. If the natural disaster worsens, the center is to continue broadcasting updates of the situation, including contributions of international aid to partner militaries in the region. The center will also coordinate and facilitate the deployment of foreign military assistance at the same time. It will draw down its operations once disaster relief efforts reach a steady pace, and the affected country's military is able to coordinate foreign military assistance without external support. President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono hopes President-elect Joko Widodo, or better known as Jokowi, would boost Indonesia's role in the international arena. Susilo said that his current government is responsible for making the necessary preparations and agenda on international activities for implementation by the next president. Susilo said he is optimistic that Jokowi will promote the country's role at numerous international forums and attend summits, of which Indonesia had been an active part of over the past decade. Jokowi is expected to attend at least 12 summits a few weeks after his inauguration on October 20th. They include the APEC Summit in Beijing, East Asia Summit in Myanmar, G20 Summit in Australia, G15 Summit in Sri Lanka, and ASEAN South Korea Summit at the end of the year. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday met Pakistan's top national security and foreign affairs advisor Sartaj Aziz on the sidelines of the 14th Summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Xi, who described China and Pakistan as all-weather friends, said the two countries had always supported one another. An SCO observer said China has always treated bilateral relations with Islamabad as a diplomatic priority and is committed to take strategic cooperative partnership with Pakistan to a higher level. Xi said relevant parties in Pakistan are capable of resolving differences and maintaining national stability through negotiations that serve the fundamental interests of the nation and people. The Chinese leader expects to meet with Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif during an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference in Beijing in November. On the recent floods in Pakistan that caused heavy losses of human lives and property, Xi said the Chinese government would provide more aid to that country. French President François Hollande arrived in Iraq's capital Baghdad on Friday for talks with Iraqi leaders. Hollande will meet with President Fuad Masum, Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, and Parliament Speaker Salim al-Jubouri to discuss holding an international peace conference in Paris on dealing with the Islamic State IS militant group. Hollande is also expected to visit Arbil, capital of semi-autonomous region of Kurdistan, to meet with Kurdish leader Masoud Barzani, according to media reports. Iraq is witnessing a worsening security condition that started in June when Sunni insurgents spearheaded by the IS launched a surprise offensive leading to the fall of a large part of the country's northern and western territories. Moving on to sports, winning the title will be a tall order for the Malaysian team at the 3rd World Women Confederation Cup Petang Championship that commences tomorrow at the Arena Petang PPWPKL Pudu, Ulu Cheras. The two-day tournament will see 8 countries competing in the triples and shooting category. The Petang Federation of Malaysia, in a statement here today, said defending champions Thailand would lead the cast, which comprises France, Australia, Sweden, Vietnam, Canada, US and Malaysia. For the record, Malaysia have never won a gold medal at the SEA Games level, with only 5 bronze medals to show from their last outing at the Myanmar Games last year. Still, Malaysia's team of 4 youngsters, Anis Amira Basri 16, Nurul Atika Abu Talib 19, Nur Tahira Tasnim Abdul Aziz 17 and Ariba Aida Hassan 19 are upbeat about their chances, setting a place in the semis as their initial target. As for Anis Amira, she is fully aware of the demands in playing in such a high-class event, as her mother Rabi'ah Abdul Rahman was world number 3 in Petang after the World Confederation Cup held in Laos in 2010. Nurul Atika, who is pursuing her sports science degree at UiTM Shah Alam, will have an added responsibility as she will also be competing in the shooting event. Petronas Raceline Malaysia rider Hafiz Shahrin Abdullah had smooth runs during 2 practice sessions today ahead of Saturday's qualifying session of the San Marino World Motorcycle Grand Prix Championship, despite the wet conditions of the track at the Misano World Circuit. It was raining during the first free practice session, which stopped right before the start of the second session, challenging the riders to deal with a wet track, resulting in many racers losing their balance and control of their machines. He was surprised to clock this kind of lap time and will stay focused in the coming days. Commenting on his machine's performance, Hafiz said that he was very happy with it as it was better in speed and handling, and the team will use the similar settings in the future races. At the practice sessions, Hafiz clocked his best time of 1 hour, 53 minutes and 64 seconds during the 22nd lap of practice session 2, making him the 3rd fastest racer of the session on top of some big names like Mika Kallio, Esteve Rabat and Dominic Aguirre. Among other Malaysian riders present were Azlan Shah Kamaruzaman for Idemitsu Honda Team Asia, Muhammad Zulfahmi Khairuddin, who represented Ongeta Air Asia, and Amirul Hafiq Azmi from Team SIC AJO. Asia is home to the most affordable Formula One Grand Prix races in 2014, especially in Kuala Lumpur, Shanghai and Suzuka. Travel site TripAdvisor in its Trip Index Racing unveiled that the Malaysian Grand Prix in Kuala Lumpur provided the most affordable tickets for F1 fans on a budget. Trip Index Racing is the cost comparison of the 19 Formula One Grand Prix races for the 2014 season based on the combined costs of a ticket to watch the race, one-night stay in a hotel close to the circuit, a burger meal, a pint of beer and a soda. In a statement today, TripAdvisor said the minimum price for a ticket to watch the Sunday race in Kuala Lumpur is RM101.37, with the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai offering the next best value at RM227.84 for the lowest price ticket, followed by Bahrain at RM256.44. When the cost of the race ticket is combined with the price of a meal and a night stay in a hotel nearby, Kuala Lumpur remains the most affordable race of the entire F1 season at RM535.98, followed by Shanghai, China at RM641.96 and Suzuka, Japan at RM825.94. At the other end of the scale, Monaco took the crown for the most expensive F1 race with a combined cost of RM4,665.70 to watch the race in greater comfort with the most expensive ticket. The Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo on the Interlagos circuit emerges a close second with a combined cost of 4,512 ringgit 11 cents, while the US Grand Prix in Austin rounds up the top three with a combined cost of 4,054 ringgit and 49 cents. TripAdvisor branded sites make up the largest travel community in the world, reaching nearly 280 million unique monthly visitors, covering more than 4 million accommodation rooms, restaurants, and attractions. The site operates in 44 countries worldwide. Argentina's highest-ranked tennis player, Juan Martín del Potro, the 2009 US Open champion, will miss the upcoming ATP 250 Malaysian Open scheduled from September 20th to 28th due to a wrist surgery. The 1.98-meter-tall Del Potro delayed his comeback from a long layoff following a wrist surgery in May and will miss tournaments in Malaysia, China, and Japan. With the absence of Del Potro, the Malaysian fans would be able to watch current US Open finalist Kei Nishikori of Japan and Canadian Milos Raonic, the world number 7, in action. And that wraps up the news for today. I'm Nadia Nazir for tvsarawak.com, leaving you with a video. Have a great weekend ahead.